All right, another week in the books. The final tweet cap for January 2024 already. And let us make fun of what's going on in this world. We have Jose and Ryan, and now join us for the first time with real Kara again. Great to have you back on the show, Kara.
Having fun being here. Got no one else to talk to today other than dog walkers, so it's
Excellent.
my
Well,
daily socialization.
Hopefully we rate higher than the dog walkers. That's my hope.
Oh yeah.
definitely. And hopefully we are able to, as we mentioned, Carl lives in Canada, so we will make fun of what's going on in America for most of the time. But you could see what's going on in this crazy country, especially in an election year.
And I mean we keep pretty up to or keep track of it anyways. Yeah. And I mean most of the time online people just assume that you're American if you like don't have any kind of British accent. So
Seriously. Well, why don't we get into it? So, one story off the bat that is trending, and I will admit, we'll do some trigger warnings here. It is a bit um gross, but we talked about AI, right? And how AI is especially after last year has really shown its presence in this entire world. And one of the things AI is known for is creating all these realistic photos. So amongst that, there is this Twitter account that made amongst right now we have the NFL playoffs, right? We all know about Taylor Swift, our girl Taylor Swift. She's dating Travis Kelce, tight end of the Chiefs. Chiefs have a big win on Sunday against Buffalo. And this is one thing I will say that's pretty unfair to Taylor. She's just trying to support her boyfriend in his art. And, amongst us, with the price of being the most famous person in the world, you got a lot of attention and you got a lot of people doing very bad things with that attention. So, despite Kansas City winning, there is this Twitter account who made these very obscure, made these obscure pictures of Taylor Swift. She's pretty much dressed nude and only in red gear, and you know, be what's the word I look for? Ryan, you this is why I need you. What's a good word for this?
What's a good route for the AI? I mean, it
Oh, these
was
pictures. I don't want to say the wrong word, but
Provocative?
yeah, exactly. Provocative photos.
provocative.
Jose's
Yeah.
coming into the clutch for that. So ultimately, this Twitter account did get deactivated. They have hashtag protect Taylor Swift. And I think the real story here is not about Taylor specifically, but it is out there that she's allegedly trying to sue, and she might start this revolution of people being held accountable for these AI photos. And but it's just knowing that AI can really cause this. Now, if somebody actually saw these photos, I think it's clear it's fake, but it's still offensive to her family, obviously her boyfriend. It's too much. And I don't like the Chiefs right now, but nobody should be degraded over a stupid football game. And that's what this guy did. But isn't it nuts what AI can really do now? And now attacking the most famous singer in the world, it's getting pretty real out here. And this is exactly what we talk about, the dangers of AI.
Yeah, I mean, I'll start off. This is almost like two things. Like the part one, you just like you said it right. AI can be used in so many different ways. It could totally be used in a good way too, by the way. We've used AI to be helpful in daily lives and in more complex tasks. But as with literally any technology that's ever come out, if you can do something awesome and maybe even helpful with it, you can also do something kind of mean spirited and not so helpful with it. And so that's obviously what we're seeing here. But as Matt knows, I'm in a bad mood about a lot of this kind of stuff today. And so I want to put the AI to the side for a second, because here's the thing with AI that we don't talk about. The AI didn't decide, the AI are not Buffalo Bills fans. They didn't decide they didn't like Taylor, or they wanted to make these things without Taylor's permission and to put them out there and to, you know, it's people. It's all people. The AI is a tool. It's like a shovel for
Yeah.
digging a hole, or a pit for the Buffalo fans, because we know it was Buffalo fans who did this, by the way, because they were screaming obscenities at Travis Kelce on Sunday. It's people who did this, and it's gross. If your mind goes there, like I know how to demean this person, you're gross. And again, part of the problem with this is not even just like because the pictures were whatever, but like this is clearly not something Taylor Swift wanted. This was clearly
Yeah.
done without her permission. This was clearly the intent was clear. It was to demean. Like the content itself isn't necessarily even demeaning. If it wasn't Taylor Swift, it would just be, you know, AI making risque photos. But it was Taylor Swift. That was very clearly the point, was to make it Taylor Swift, and was meant to make her uncomfortable. Someone had the idea, I'm going to make this person I don't like uncomfortable by creating this. And to me, that is just, if your mind goes there over football, over anything, really what's wrong with you? And we've had today specifically so many of these what's wrong with you moments with people and this sort of thing. And I can't even fathom it. I saw the pictures, by the way, before they got removed. I just can't even fathom who was like, I have a good idea, and that's what they came up with. Like, who are you?
Yeah.
Genuinely, who are you? Where that's where your head went.
I mean, I almost look at it like you said, like AI can be useful for a lot of shit. But art theft is pretty bad as well. But in regards to this, it's almost like in a way similar vibes wise to revenge porn, in that
Right.
like pornography shouldn't be like illegal or anything, but there are laws in place for revenge porn because it's unconsensual.
Right.
Like it's
Exactly.
just and I feel like even before AI blew up, like there's always been like celeb dupes, like stuff like on porn sites where if you
Yeah.
have the hots for celeb, you can find something. But it's just that AI is so accessible and widespread now that this kind of stuff is going to just keep getting bigger and bigger. And then I think it really just comes down to, like, if you see it, it should be reportable. It should be easy to take it down without like a big hubbub about it. Like, it is good that the account got deactivated at least. I don't know how fast did that happen after the initial post.
Yeah, I actually used to
Relatively
follow.
quickly.
I will admit, well, this guy was just a Twitter troll. I follow the guy
Yeah.
because he used to have like clearly went too far, but he had content that was pretty funny, but obviously this isn't.
Yeah.
And I saw it right away. Didn't really make much of it till I thought about like, man, this looks pretty bad. Like he also, I think, created the photo of Andy Reid kissing Taylor Swift, the head coach of the Chiefs. And again, like what else are you doing with your
I saw
time?
that one.
And yeah, all joking aside, with great power comes great responsibility, and he was just trying to find a way to keep staying relevant, and he clearly went too far.
And it goes back to this entire season. I saw a stat, and I'm sorry this is a little bit more about football. I saw a stat this playoff season. Want to know how long Taylor Swift's been on screen? A
No,
little over a minute.
sorry, I don't know.
A little over a minute.
It's been so, it's like, I had know nothing about football, but it's been so exaggerated the amount of times that she's been
Correct.
shown. I assume that number would be way higher.
No, it's
Especially,
it's
like,
literally,
I did
The
too, because
jokes
there
that,
was
what was it, the Oscars or something? The jokes that they were making, like,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's insane the number of people, like the visceral reaction. These men, and it's all men, 100%. I will stake my professional integrity right now that not a single woman who's a Chiefs fan has had a single complaint about Taylor Swift at this game. All these men in sports and Chiefs Nation, and the other teams actually just even more so than the Chiefs. This is where it leads when you have the locker room talk live on ESPN, live on Fox Sports, live on all these places, live on X. When the locker room talk is the main talk, this is where it leads to. I do worry though, Cara, like it should be easy to report this, and I'm glad that the account got taken down. But unlike actual like revenge content, it isn't Taylor Swift. And I
Yeah.
do worry.
Oh wait, was this like
it's like that, yeah.
like
So it's
that
like,
people will interpret it as her? Is that what you mean?
well, it was meant to be interpreted as,
Yeah.
I mean, it was clearly her in the picture, but it wasn't a picture of her.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. It was an AI creation of her.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And so the question then becomes, is it, does it fall into that same category? Because it's not a picture of Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift never posed for those, was never a compromising
Yeah.
picture taken.
I think just
it
for
was
both,
creative.
I think for both, I just mean it's like the lack of consent involved.
Oh
Like
no,
regardless of
100%
if it
agree. I'm
is
worried
her or
about
not,
legally.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
I'm worried
think
about
the
like the
same
legal
should
thing.
I think the same should be applied for both. Is that if
I
there's
hope
no
so too.
consent, like
Right.
you should be like screwed for it.
I hope so too, and I think it'll fix a lot of problems. Like you said, stealing art, stealing like books and stuff. AI, like if we establish consent as part of AI, then we fix a lot of problems. I just worry that we won't. But yeah, this was horrible. Horrible way to start my day or my week or whatever. Uh, just horrible, horrible stuff.
Yeah, people do something better.
Go
I love it.
outside, like
Feed the homeless. Listen,
yeah, feed the homeless.
I do sports as the other half of this show all the time. I'd like to think I'm as passionate as I can with my teams, but I really, as I get older, I don't think it really isn't that serious. I do think it's the ultimate distraction, and it's beautiful when your team wins, but you can't get so upset at a team that you go at them personally. You just can't. And trust me, the Chiefs are frustrated right now, and I still hope they lose on Sunday.
So do I.
But again, don't come at a player's personal wife. Don't come at their not their wife,
Their
but their
loved
girlfriend and
ones,
stuff like that. Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Their
Don't come at their
family
loved
and
ones.
the people they care about.
Do we know he's a Buffalo fan?
No, that's me getting people upset with me.
I think
on
it
the
was
comment
just a
section.
Twitter troll, but maybe he's a Bills fan.
I doubt he's a Bills fan, but
He's definitely not a Chiefs fan.
I mean, he might have even just thought it was funny, but regardless of the intent behind it, it's
Right.
just like it could be extremely uncomfortable for her, right?
Exactly.
100%.
And
And I would like to think you're right that it was just a bad joke. I've seen the discourse in football this year
So
around
it seems
Taylor
like
Swift,
more than that.
and
Yeah.
I would be hard pressed to assume they no one in the football sphere has done, in my mind, anything to make me give them the benefit of a doubt that this was a bad joke on like a troll account, and not that this person has genuine malice toward someone who just really likes football now.
Yeah.
The whole deal. But
yeah, listen, it's too bad, but we will move on. But I do have another football story, but it's a little later and funny. And
good.
but for now, I want to get into somebody named Jon Stewart, who was once the former the full-time Daily Show host. And guess what? It was announced earlier this week that Jon Stewart will return to The Daily Show as its executive producer and host on Monday nights, beginning on February 12th through the 2024 election cycle, Paramount announced on Wednesday. So Jon Stewart is back only on Mondays, only through the 2024 election. But what do we think about that? I've heard mixed reviews. I've heard people, they're genuinely happy he's back. Then they hear he's only back for 1 day a week, and then they're mad. But then I hear people who think he should just, let another up-and-comer try to use that opportunity to grow themselves. What do you guys think? I know, Ryan, you had some choice words on it. If you want to open the floor with this, tell us about Jon Stewart's return to The Daily Show.
I was negative at the beginning of the last one, so I want everyone else to go first, and then I could be the.
Oh, you're negative. You're negative on this one too.
I am, but Jose, I want you to go first.
Well, to be honest with you, I haven't watched Daily Show since he left. I thought he was great, so
he was awesome.
I'll take Mondays. I'd rather take Mondays than no days, to be honest with you. They obviously having problems finding a host for it. So definitely don't see how there's a negative. If everything goes well, you might be the permanent host. What else he got nothing else to do right now. He ain't been doing nothing since.
His Apple show did fail. He made some okay movies, not bad movies, okay movies.
The one he directed with Steve Carell was very good. My opinion.
I thought it was okay, but I respect your opinion.
Okay, I'll jump in. I did watch post Stewart. I mean, I really liked. I'll be honest. As like a teenager, I got most of my news from Jon Stewart and Stephen Colbert. Like most of what I understood about the world came from. I mean, your parents, right? Your parents say whatever they say, and you hear that and agree or disagree, but you internalize it either way. And then Jon Stewart and Stephen Colbert. Those are like how I learned about current events. So I'd have no problem with Jon Stewart, but I watched Trevor Noah. I liked Trevor Noah. They had a whole cast of people who I thought were really good. Two in particular jump out to me. And so when they announced that he was coming back, I was like, that's crazy that they couldn't get any of those other people to take the show. And then I found out he was only coming back for one day. And I'm like, so in addition to not having a host for the rest of the time, so it's just, to me, I was like, why are we doing, I know why we're doing this. It'll improve ratings during the election cycle. I understand why they're doing it, but like, let one of the, like, find a permanent host and let them do it. And if they don't do well, then they don't do well.
It is
When's
kind of
the,
weird. All this time they haven't found a permanent host yet.
Yeah, I was gonna
Right.
say, when's the last time they've had a permanent host?
When did Trevor Noah retire? A year ago?
Last
A
year.
year ago. Yeah, a year ago.
And I think I read somewhere that in like the last year of Trevor Noah hosting, he had like 70% the viewership, or less, or 70% less viewership than Jon Stewart, I think it was.
I did
Oh,
see
yeah.
that too. He
definitely
did
had
not
less
do well in
viewers.
but yeah, he left in September 2022.
Mhm.
Yeah, but you could tell towards the end he was checking out.
I would also, like, he had COVID to deal with, and TV is so different now than it was when Stewart was at like the top. Like,
Yeah.
no, there's no show that's appointment viewing. Like, no one watches, to me, not to me, I think factually, no one watches TV like that. Like, sit down at the TV. Now, like, you have your streaming, so you like a certain genre, like, like we last talked, we talked about the shows we like you could just watch the stuff you like. You don't have to even be exposed to things that you have never heard of. Whereas before you did, just by flipping through channels. So I don't know if you can, like, one for one compare Stewart and Noah. I mean, Trevor Noah did win awards for the show, which is not a great indicator, but it's something. It shows that the show
Yeah.
was critically well received, if nothing else. But I mean, some of the guests were really good. Matt, I'm gonna forget which one it was, but I'm gonna say it was
Jesus?
Jesus. Yeah, Jesus.
Jesus. Yeah,
He was awesome. He would have been a great host. A New York guy, which part of Stewart's charm at the time was, like, he was the quintessential New Yorker doing a New York-based show. They did lose that with Trevor Noah for sure, but Jesus is absolutely a New Yorker, 100% through and through. So you bring that back. Klepper would have been great. Roy Wood Jr. could have been good.
Yeah,
So
he seems
I
to be
don't
the
know.
favorite I've seen the most people. Why don't you just give it to him?
Yeah, to me, it's just, there's really no reason for Jon Stewart other than they just wanted the old guy back for the big important job. And I'm always against the old guy coming in to take the big important job. I think you try
He's
your
Jay
luck.
Lenoing it.
Yeah, you try your luck. You pick the next generation and you say, all right, next generation, we got a big election in America. You've got to cover this thing like Jon Stewart did for however many years successfully.
Yeah, he left
Go.
right before the 2016 election, which was.
I do like Jon Stewart as a producer, being around, offering his advice, helping, maybe stopping in the writer's room every now and again to see how it's going. Like, I don't hate Jon Stewart being involved in a show that he basically made like one of the most popular shows on Comedy Central history.
You just want to see someone else given a shot.
Right. Yeah.
When there's people that are capable.
Yeah, you got young talent. You should let the young talent have a go. With Stewart did it. He retired. He did his deal. You know what I mean? Like, good for him. He won. He won being working.
Do you think it'll be too much, especially for this year and with the whole election, for one new person to come in and handle that? Especially with the whole Biden Trump thing.
It could be. I won't sit here.
The only thing I would say to that, there've been people taking over shows before.
Yeah, but in the midst of this, of this whole big thing, this is gonna be a shit show. Let's be real. The whole Biden thing and whole Trump coming back, and this is gonna be the most craziest one out of all the elections we had to deal with. This is so not gonna be the norm.
Maybe that's specifically why they are only doing him or using him for the election season, then, just to ensure they have like the best like coverage that they can have, and then maybe, I don't know, maybe they'll put somebody new on. But
okay, I mean, so Stewart was only on a couple years before 2001, which was a pretty important year in American history. And he handled it all right. I mean, you're right, Jose, maybe. I mean, that's definitely the thought process behind one time a week, only through the election, They're going to cover the election with Jon Stewart because they're going to get a lot of eyeballs. They know he can do it. I do get why they're doing it. I really do think some of the guests they had, some of the talent they had could do it. Like I said, they didn't call who is it, Claiborne? Who did it before Stewart? They didn't call him in September 2001.
Craig Kilborn.
Which
is one of the most fascinating late night stories ever. He was the original host of The Daily Show and The Late Late Show and Sports Center, and he just said, "Screw this! I'm not. I think he just got his millions and left the public eye."
Yeah,
like, it's insane.
Yeah, they didn't call him in September of 2001, so I don't know why we're calling him backup.
Jon Stewart?
Yeah, no, they didn't call Stewart, the guy that Stewart replaced. They didn't bring him in to help Jon Stewart cover. So I'm saying, why are we bringing in the last guy?
Everybody, you trust Jon Stewart? All the crap he's been doing, especially for all like the 9/11 people.
But the day,
I'm talking about recently.
But before he didn't do that before it happened.
Well, the only way you knew him it was because of Big Daddy. He made an appearance on the damn Big Daddy.
Well, and he had the Jon Stewart
Big
show,
Daddy.
which was bad. Like he had the Jon Stewart show.
Oh, Big Daddy, the Sandler movie.
Yeah. So it's not like he was this well-known. He wasn't Walter Cronkite. It was not like he was super trusted.
But, I mean,
I guess
until the Daily Show happened, it didn't get as popular until Jon Stewart got on.
Oh, sure, but again, it was a gamble. He was a young comedian who did nothing, and they gave it to Jon Stewart, and they said, "This is yours, sink or swim," and he did it. And I feel like they could do that again, and this makes that harder because now whoever comes on Tuesday is going to be compared to nostalgia, right? Everyone's going to be like, "Oh, I remember Jon Stewart. John's on Monday. I'm going to watch Monday." So whoever's on Tuesday doesn't get the same love because John's on Monday.
I guess how they would handle it with the transition of everything going through. I mean, we'll see.
We'll see. I mean, we'll never know, but yeah.
We're going to have a very good tweet cap that night.
Isn't that why he's the executive producer? I mean, he should be able to manage this.
Hopefully.
Jon Stewart.
Semi-retired. He might be playing golf or something on Tuesday.
We were definitely going to have
fighting with Congress.
He doesn't strike me as a big golf person.
All right, our next story, right? This involves a TikToker who gets 1 million views on this one post. And first things first, I want to make clear. I don't want to romanticize or give extra publicity to this guy because this is a little strange, but if it's true, it's also strange. So I want to make a warning on that one.
I think he deleted his account.
Kosh Bunny?
I just went to click on the link you sent me and his account doesn't exist anymore.
Okay. If this is the case, let me see if I can pull that.
No, it showed up. It showed up now. I don't know why it didn't the first couple times.
Okay.
It said account not found.
Well, this is an interesting one then. There's this guy on TikTok at I'm Kosh Bunny, right? Kosh Bunny has a TikTok, and the TikTok has him saying, "I cheated and fumbled a pop star." Then you scroll next to it, and it's him and Billie Eilish. And scrolling through these photos, again, I want to make clear, I don't know this is a case. He said there's going to be a story. He hasn't posted a story yet, so this is weird. Again, we also don't want a Taylor Swift situation.
Sure.
But the thing here is, if this is true or not, right? He's still getting millions of views on his TikTok, getting 246,000 likes, and this is just strange. This is just strange, and like the thing I want to talk about with TikTok is, are people really that easily fooled if this isn't real or not? Basically, first thing I guess they should ask, do you actually think he quote unquote fumbled Billie Eilish? Didn't work out? Or is this, he wants to just, make himself more famous that way?
Didn't she just came out gay or lesbian? I mean, lesbian or bi? She literally just came out.
Yeah, I think she's bi. I don't think she's lesbian.
I don't know. That's the thing.
She literally just came out bi. So I don't know how long ago he fumbled it. If she's been testing the waters for the last couple of months.
I'll say
the thing.
this: if this is not true, this
Of
is
course
like
it's
the
not
most.
true.
I agree, it's not true, but this is probably the most easily refuted thing ever. Because Billie Eilish could just say no, and then it's over. So I don't. I think this is just a dude clout chasing. Because the video doesn't even say Billie Eilish, right? That's like just an image. All it says is I fumbled a pop star.
Right.
So like he never makes a claim either. If
Could
the
have
story,
even just like had a picture taken with her at
right,
an
exactly.
event.
I feel like if the story comes, like if he does a full story explaining what happened, then well, I guess we'll have to look at it then and see. And by the way, like if this is doing the numbers that it's doing, then he actually has a story with anything like in it, it'll probably go crazy numbers. But yeah, I think that he said everything in such a way as to avoid saying outright what he did or did not do. And this is just a way to get a bunch of people to click on his videos. But I don't know. I'm just gonna say I fumbled a professional athlete, and I'm gonna post a picture.
It's just like if it's a bait, it's a great bait, but where are you going to go after that? Because your content's not going to hold up the audience that you're trying to get.
Well, yeah,
Like
and
for the amount of views he's only got 6,000 followers because he doesn't have anything else to offer that's interesting.
He's gonna have to pretend to date a lot more celebrities to build a following.
Exactly.
I will say some of these comments are funny though that you could just say in general. Ultra galactical generational fumble, brother. 59,000 likes. Why? They need to create a college course to study this fumble. This may be the fumble, and nobody wants to fumble somebody that they very much cared for, maybe had a romantic future with. I mean, well, I've learned don't dwell. You shouldn't dwell on that, or you'll go crazy. Then you turn into a villain. But this is just nuts. How popular this is coming, and if he's making a fool out of everyone, he worked, or he could just tell the story as well.
Why would he?
I saw him respond to a comment and say that he posted a story time. I don't know if he actually did or not, but he commented and said that he was going to.
Yeah, I was looking for that too. Where's the story?
I haven't seen it.
You liar.
I'm trying to look through his account because he said I'll post a story time in 10 minutes, but I'm trying to find a post on that same day.
Yeah, it says that 19 hours ago.
10 minutes are up.
Kosh Bunny, if that's your real fake name.
Hey, you know what? Maybe Billy saw it. Maybe Billy saw it and is rekindling their relationship.
And now it feels awkward.
Right, and so now he's not going to post the story time.
This is actually a perfect transition because Billie Eilish is nominated for an Oscar this year for the movie Barbie, for that song "What Was I Made Of," which is hella deep.
Good song.
Can I see? Have we all seen Barbie? Kari, you seen Barbie?
I have not. I have trouble watching movies because my boyfriend falls asleep if something is longer than an hour, and I usually only watch stuff with him. So,
Ryan, you've seen it, I know.
I have, and I'll say, as a guy who saw it in theaters, I laughed a whole bunch. I bet your boyfriend would at least be able to stay.
Yeah,
it's a very funny movie.
I really want to see it. I just feel like I've just been too lazy and I keep forgetting. But I've seen a lot of clips and I know the general premise of the storyline. So,
have you seen it, Jose?
Hell no, but I will because you gave me a list of stupid movies I have to watch. So,
well, for the Oscars,
yeah, Jose,
come on, some great content for that.
So
I'm halfway through.
I'll probably watch it. God bless you. I probably got like 3. I probably got 3 down, but I'll probably watch
which 3? I know. I just want to hear which 3 so we can see how much you have
Leonardo
to watch by
DiCaprio. What's the list? You got to show me the list. We'll
the new one.
The which one?
Killers of Flower Moon. Oppenheimer.
Yeah, I saw that one.
I want to see that.
That's a great one. You do have to watch that in hour bits. 3.5 hour movie.
Yeah, I'll just watch it while he's at work.
Yeah, Killers. Yeah, you're. I watched it on a plane late at night, and it took a lot of strength to stay awake.
I didn't know it was 3.5 hours, and I started watching it at 1 a.m. and all I kept thinking was like F Matt. While I'm watching, trying to stay up.
Hey, if this was a 2-hour movie, it'd be a masterpiece, but it's not. So
Yeah, that ending.
All right. Anyway, we're getting off the plot of Barbie, but I was just curious which ones you'd
Oh,
seen.
Barbie, yeah, Barbie. I'll put that. That'll be done by Sunday. I'll
Yeah, it's a
watch
quick
that
one.
if
one.
you want it, it's until March 8th. So that's some
Oh
time.
yeah. I'm trying to do like at least one every 3 days.
Perfect. Thank you for that. But anyways, regarding the Oscars, Oscar nominations were announced this past Tuesday. And there was plenty of snubs, no Leo, no Iron Claw at all, and stuff like that. Barbie gets 8 Oscar nominations, which includes Best Picture, Supporting Actor, and Ryan Gosling, as we mentioned, 2 original songs. What was I Made For? Billie Eilish. I'm Just Ken by Ryan Gosling. We have America Ferrera as a supporting actress, adapted screenplay. But the big thing here is there were 2 huge snubs that genuinely is baffling and genuinely upset a lot of people, I think, both in the film community and outside of it. But the fact of the matter is that Margot Robbie doesn't get nominated for Best Actress and Greta Gerwig doesn't get nominated for Best Director. What about this outrage? Ryan, you actually saw the movie, so this is pretty insane, especially for a movie that was a big deal for the film industry. Again, helping people show that movie theaters are here to stay forever now. Even the genuine fear they wouldn't be a thing anymore. I think you could have, do the diligence and nominate those 2 people, especially. And I will say, America Ferrera, though I didn't think she did very well, and clearly her big monologue in the movie, I think, got her the nomination.
That's got to be the scene that they were thinking of when they nominated her. But
the Academy didn't nominate those 2, and people love Greta Gerwig, especially. It's a big surprise. Record she gets a writing nomination, so it's not too much of a it's not as bad, but like really, really strange one that this woman, the first female director to get over $1 billion at the box office. I think, and as I said, is a genuinely great movie. I liked it better than Oppenheimer, but very surprising the Academy wouldn't give her the Best Director nomination.
Yeah, I mean that one to me was actually the bigger. Somehow that was the bigger deal. Like I do get it's funny, like the idea that the Barbie movie has 8 nominations, but none of them are for the character of Barbie. So I see the people who are angry about it, but like you can have a very good movie whose main character isn't like Oscar winning, or Oscar worthy, I guess. Although I don't think that's the case with this. I think she should have been nominated. But I mean, Greta Gerwig. I mean, we always had the modifier of like the first woman to make over $1 billion, and I understand that men have done that before, but like the list of men who have done that isn't like that big. It's not like men frequently make that much money, and she's just the first woman to do it. Like she's in like kind of rare air, and she did it without needing any superheroes. It's not a sequel, or you know what I mean. They didn't build an entire streaming platform to funnel people in to see these movies like Marvel did with Disney Plus. I don't know. I think that the movie that she directed is clearly the most successful movie of the year. It was nominated for Best Picture. I just don't see how she could possibly not get. I mean, there was another female director who got nominated, which almost kind of makes it sus to me. They're like, oh, well, we did our quota. We had a woman director. We don't need 2. And I'm like, what? Just 2? Like seriously.
You can nominate more than one person.
Right. Well, and honestly, if it's really gonna hide behind, well, we can only pick 5, says who?
That
pick
has
6.
to change.
Like, who cares? We have 10 for Best Picture. I don't know. To me, the whole thing it just reeks to me of a quota of they picked a woman and they thought they didn't need to pick anymore, so they chose not to.
What woman director was it? Like for what movie?
What was it?
Not The Theory of Everything. Anatomy of a Fall.
Anatomy of a Fall. Yeah. Which
it's a German and French film. I know Jose's gonna love that one.
Oh. I'm surprised if they were like trying to.
It's in English though.
They're trying to like do their quota meet that they wouldn't pick the like the blatantly, I guess, more popular one,
Well, that's also
right?
strange. Like, because I was just thinking about it. Like, obviously, we watch a lot of them, but when you ask people on the street to like name an Oscar-nominated movie,
Not a lot of people know.
they have a hard time. But like, everyone knows Barbie. It was the most popular movie of the summer, full stop, of the year, full stop. It's, you know what I mean? Like, everyone knew about it. Everyone either wanted to see it or because, the internet sucks, were, vehemently against seeing it, but whatever. Like, everyone knew about it. It was very popular, very well known, very well received. So yeah, I would agree, Cara. Like, it's strange that if they were doing a quota thing, they wouldn't pick Greta Gerwig, but it's the only thing I could think of, because otherwise, why not? Like,
Yeah.
there's no logical reason other than they only wanted to
I
pick
have I
one
have
and they
one.
didn't.
I have one reason.
Are you sure you have one, Jose? Before you talk.
Um,
All right.
when you went to go see it at the movie theaters, did you wear a pink shirt?
No, I had a yellow shirt on.
Well, that's why she didn't get the Dom.
My yellow shirt?
Yeah, you're supposed to wear pink if you were gonna go see it at the movie and then take a picture on that little stupid thing in the little box.
So we
Barbie
did take a
box.
picture in the box.
Did you
Yeah, but
really?
you
That's
wear-
gonna be a wait in like 25 years. That's gonna be like a big picture. Oh man.
Yeah, we did
Yeah,
take a
but
picture.
you had
in
a
the
yellow
box.
shirt.
Well, okay, Ken didn't wear pink the whole time.
I will say I don't think Ryan Gosling did an Academy Award winning performance.
I really liked it. I don't think it
I mean, I
wins,
liked it, but like, I think the point, and there's the thing I've learned, especially being a big film lover, you make a good movie for the sake of telling a good story, not to win awards. That's the same. Of course, it's a nice added bonus, but that doesn't define a film. And,
Have you heard the term like Oscar bait movies?
Oh yes,
It's so obvious. Like when a movie is just trash, but you can tell exactly what they were aiming for.
exactly.
But Barbie was crazy because it wasn't. I saw it. Like,
No.
it was
exactly.
It was
But
an
our boy,
Oscar movie, but it
but-
definitely wasn't made to be an Oscar movie. It just
our
I
boy
don't know.
Bradley Cooper is accused of that, and we'll have lots to say throughout there.
Yeah, he did do it, but that doesn't. But it was still a good movie. We need to be nicer to Bradley. He made a very good movie. I was very touched by it. It's my favorite that I've seen of the 6 that I've seen so far, and so I'm being very serious here. But yes, no, that was an Oscar bait movie. He made it because he wanted to win an Oscar.
What movie was that?
Maestro. It's on Netflix.
Maestro. It's on
Oh
Netflix. Yeah.
my god, yeah, where he like how long did he study
6
being a
years.
conductor?
6 years
6
for
years.
to be for one conducting scene.
Yeah, to do
Which
just
was
the one scene. It was very good
amazing. It
But-
really was. You put the work, and the only regret when I saw that is I didn't see that in theaters. I would have broke down. But yeah, I mean, that's gonna be a fun topic during this season, especially as the awards come out. But I mean, it is okay if you make an Oscar
Sure.
baiting film. It's not the worst sin in the world, but at least if you make it sure it's good, like you said,
I think he did.
It's awful when it's
Maestro
bad.
is good.
Yeah,
But Barbie is very good, and Greta Gerwig, like, because the director is not always the reason a movie does well or is good.
Mhm.
I know,
no doubt
Matt,
a big part, but
Matt, cover your ears. But the director's not always the reason. But in this case, because of how unique that movie was, the story, which in fairness is, I hope the story wins.
as adapted screenplay,
I hope it wins best adapted screenplay, truly. But like, the way that it was the way it was laid out, the way the story kind of unfolded, like, there's a lot of things that the director did really well.
yeah, no, absolutely.
This movie almost got canceled.
The set
By the
design
way.
looked really sick too. Like
That
I've
is
just
definitely
seen
one.
clips, but some people have pointed out like little details, like at the start of the movie when she's showering and there's no water coming out because she's Barbie. There's no
Yeah.
water coming out of her shower. Obviously,
Oh
she's
yeah,
a toy.
no, yeah, they do
Little
a
things
lot
like
of
that.
They do a lot of that. They kind of fly down. They don't really take the stairs. They just kind of go down, because if you're playing with a doll that you just move them down, you don't
Yeah.
make them go down the stairs. There was tons of stuff like that. Again, and that's all like direction. You know what I mean? Like, that's all the directors. So I think that really, truly horrible. And she handled it so well. Like, she wasn't mad about it. At least not openly. And
Keyword
she's
openly.
she's handled it really well. So you know what? Maybe we're just being grumpy for no reason. But
No, there's a lot of people really upset about
I
it.
know they're grumpier than we are. we're handling it really well too. In honor of Greta's handling of the situation.
I love Greta. It was a great movie you should see. It's on Netflix. An indie she did. It's called Frances Ha. It's about a young 25-year-old trying to make it in New York. Really great movie. It's in black and white though, so that for some reason pushes people away. But it shouldn't.
Well, Maestro's half in black and white too. So.
Same with Oppenheimer, which will probably
same with
sweep, because you have to know, like, especially these academies, all politics and making, the voters you're campaigning for yourself. So
yeah,
it's whatevers, guys and girls. It's whatevs, but you can still enjoy the picture, and that's what's most important. And at the end of the day, as long as it tells you a great story, that's what matters. And awards come second. But regardless of being recognized by the Academy for certain things or not, Barbie is an amazing movie. Though they didn't get nominated for their respective categories, Greta Gerwig and Margot Robbie made an amazing film that will impact lives forever. How did they do that? They did that by staying focused, and they worked hard for a long time to get this film made right. That's like me in life with this show, always striving to stay focused and work harder to accomplish my goals and help you, me, and anyone else who's trying to improve their life and their focus and achieve more with themselves. There's something we can all take. It's called Magic Mind, and that's something we can do to stay focused and to work harder. Ever since I started taking Magic Mind as a way to help improve my energy and improve focus on my busy life, I wound up finding the solution I needed with this great product. I started taking Magic Mind during my morning routine, and ever since then, it has made a big impact on my concentration and my energy. So I go to the gym every morning. That's how I start my day. I get up. I got to do my stretches, get my cheating version of yoga in just to get this body all set and ready to go. But after that, I take my shot of Magic Mind, and I'm ready to go. I go about my routine, I do my workout, I then take the shower, and then bam, let's start the day. And getting that boost already from the start from Magic Mind, it's lovely. It's euphoric, and we're ready to rock and roll with it. And after taking Magic Mind for some time, I generally feel more awake. I'm not as sore as I usually am. And like I said, I'm more focused, and I'm ready to go. And I have to say, it tastes very good. The nootropics help me get a lot done with my day. It has allowed me to be less stressed about my world. It doesn't have caffeine, so you don't need to feel about drinking your morning coffee or taking your pre-workout. You could replace all of that by taking Magic Mind because the stuff really works. And why does it? It's because it has these special ingredients that are used to reduce fatigue and anxiety, increases your body's resistance to stress, it improves physical and mental endurance, as well as help your mental clarity. I mean, I used to have a hard time waking up in the morning, but you know what? Ever since I take Magic Mind, hit that alarm, I hear that alarm, and let's get it. I would recommend Magic Mind because it really gives me that extra boost we all need in this stressful world. As I mentioned, it helps me physically, helps me mentally, and it gives me the clarity I need to live my best life. And why not add that extra boost to your life and get fully focused like I did, and check out Magic Mind's website and get this incredible product today. We also have a link in the description below, but you can go, thanks to the Magic Mind team, you can go to the site, get up to 56% off your first subscription in the month of January, and go to the Magic Mind website and go to magicmind.com/Jan Productive Conversation. That's magicmind.com/Jan Productive Conversation, and use discount code productive20 to get an additional 20% off. 56% off, 55% off, 20% off after that. You get 75% off this product by simply going to magicmind.com/Jan Productive Conversation. Again, as mentioned, we have the link and the code in the description below on all podcasting platforms and YouTube. And I just want to thank our friends at Magic Mind for making this all possible. And go get that product today and improve your life. Thank you to our friends at Magic Mind for making this all possible. So let's continue on, and let's talk about Starbucks now, right? You don't need Starbucks with because of
No, you
Magic
don't.
Mind.
That's to say, you could replace that with the matcha. Tastes just as good, gives you that energy. But
See, even better with the great Ryan Page helping us endorse it. But a lot of people do use Starbucks, including some people who are very annoying. And it looks like there was a Karen out there, for lack of a better word, just berating the Starbucks employee, calling her names, going crazy. I don't know exactly where this happened, but it happened at Starbucks. And the audacity this woman has to just belittle the kind baristas and just thinking she's the best thing ever. And clearly you're going to get videotaped, and clearly you're going to go online to look like a damn fool. And look what happened. I'm pretty sure a lot of people recognized her, and her work probably wasn't happy. Her family probably wasn't happy, or her friends. Like, what is it with these people, whether you're a Karen or you're just some jerk? And the fact that just people talking down to people who work in food services and retail, it's a joke. And this is exactly why the joke keeps going on. And usually if you see specifically a woman, usually usually if you see a woman berate these people, that's why the word Karen is a thing now. It's amazing how many people go into that stereotype. Like, why do people feel they can speak to people like this? It really is upsetting.
I think just in their brain, they assume that minimum wage worker, minimum wage job, easy. I could do this. I could do this so easily. Why is this so hard for this stupid person? I used to be a cashier at a grocery store, and I just had like so many bad experiences with people, and there's no reason ever to act like that. I don't know. I mean, and you can just see how old she is mentally by the way she slams her hands onto the I don't know, onto the till repeatedly, like a child throwing a tantrum at the end.
Seriously. Yeah, exactly. And I feel it's amazing that this person didn't have the wherewithal to know, wow, I look like a Karen. I'm screaming at this, as you mentioned, a minimum wage worker. There are people who are going to clearly videotape me. But yeah, I'm going to keep going at it. And reckon she clearly wasn't in the mental or emotional state to stop herself. But this is just so
it's
unnecessary.
not illegal to yell, Matt. Not illegal to yell here. That's what
Is that what she was saying? There were like 3 lines of hers that I just could not understand.
I have a question unrelated to this woman, because kind of related to this woman. Do we feel bad for people named Karen?
Oh,
Not who act like a Karen, but they're just their God-given, I guess God didn't do it, their parent-given name is Karen.
I just kind of pity them a little bit.
Somewhat, yeah. I mean, I know my brother's friend's mom's very sweet woman. She's named Karen, and she's cursed for life. I remember I've seen girls on dating apps named Karen, and that's the first thing they say in the description. Not a typical Karen. I know what my name says, but I do genuinely feel like, man, this sucks.
I don't really think there's gonna be many Karens born anymore.
Seriously.
Can you
just
imagine
a cursed name?
If the name goes extinct, if Karen the name goes extinct, that we just no longer have Karens running around because everyone collectively decides to stop naming people Karen, so that way we can use it more effectively to describe a person's attributes. Anyway, I was curious because I think about that every time these videos come up, and they keep coming up, and they're gonna keep coming up because of course they are. I always think, like, what if your name is Karen and you're in that store, right? Do you feel like a kinship, or not a kinship, but rather like, do you feel like a responsibility to like go up and be like, you're making me look bad? I don't know, but
clearly,
yeah, it's but yeah, I wish I could say this. I got nothing really to say, because what is surprising about this? This is like the umpteenth time we've seen this scenario play out. The people behind the counter didn't look all that rattled, so this is not their first encounter.
It was nice to see the whole shop just laugh and have a nice ball with it when she left.
Right. Well, because at this point, and the only good news about this being so common is that when it happens, everyone can kind of like
It's a little treat. It's
Yeah,
a little
exactly.
TV show.
Right. It does take the power away from the angry people and give it back to the everyone else who's trying to enjoy their day. But yeah, I wish I could say anything other than this is the same old, same old. People need to start treating each other better. And this is just an extension of that complaint, which we talked about at the beginning, which we talked about on previous episodes. It all comes down to just a lack of basic understanding when dealing with other people.
Mm-hmm. Couldn't say it any better, Ryan. You really couldn't say it any better.
What about you, Jose? Are you a Karen when you're out in public?
Nope. But Matt will know. Me and Matt used to be cashiers together at Kohl's
Yes, you
department
did.
store. And I dare Karen to come up to me and cuss me out, cuss that chick so fast, and Matt knows it. Like I give two
I've seen that before. But it's like the male version of.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I was just say, is the male version of Karen Ken, or is it like
Nah.
Chad, Brad, and Chad?
I thought it was like
Nah.
Kevin.
Kevin sounds-
Kevin works.
I mean, when I was a cashier, I had this lady who would come through and she wanted her groceries bagged in a very specific way. And if I didn't do it, she would freak the hell out. It was my first day as a cashier. Apples came down the till towards me. She has one cloth bag and a freezer bag. All of her freezer stuff will fit in the freezer bag, but the apples won't. And I'm like, well, most people don't want their apples in the freezer bag. So I didn't do that. I put them in the other bag. And then she just started freaking out, calling me an idiot, asking how I was even working, why I'm working if I'm still learning. I'm like, what do you want me to do? There's no even space in the first place. And then I had to go to the customer service desk and they're like, oh yeah, she's always like that. Just ignore it. I'm like, just tell her not to fucking come in here anymore.
Yeah, I mean, maybe she should bag her own stuff.
Yeah.
If it's gonna be that big an issue.
Yeah, seriously. There's a reason why we have self-checkout now. Oh, man, what a joke. I know, Jose, yes. Jose, I look forward to so many times you customer service and stuff. I mean, it's hilarious. And when I, especially working at Kohl's, my mom was literally like, how are you going to go into Kohl's or any store and get mad? I'm going to go in here and my day is upset. I'm now upset because of something that happened at this department store or grocery store or electronic store, hardware store. Like, it's so all these issues will get solved. I think it's genuinely impossible for your issue to not get fixed.
So I worked at a bar. I was a bartender, so I didn't work. I worked in the back at retail at Marshall's, but I was never like customer facing, and I didn't get customer facing until I was a bartender. And no one is ever mad at the bartender because you bring them beer and stuff. So
yeah, exactly.
No one's ever mad at a bartender. But so I can't, unfortunately I can't relate. I can only go by the horror stories I've seen online or heard from you all today.
You're lucky because if you worked at customer service, all you're bringing is bad news by telling them that you can't accept their returns.
Yeah,
exactly. And then you're the bad guy, and you're somehow the devil. Or I remember one person bringing in an Old Navy coupon. I say this is Old Navy. You wouldn't believe the anger. And here's the thing. I mean, geez, with certain coupons were just the worst introduction. And I remember working at another store. Somebody brought this coupon. They didn't get it. The police happened to be there dealing with a shoplifter, and they literally reported to they wanted to accept my coupon. Arrest them. Like, they have the audacity to think them. And the cop, you just saw, like, I'm really doing this. I guess I'm serving the public, which is the point of my job. But
I had this white lady with the Karen haircut get really pissed off that I wouldn't accept her coupon for some like chicken breast. She freaked out at me, said that they would normally accept it. I was a new trainee. I'm not going to do anything against the rules.
Yeah.
And then she left, and this guy walks up after her, and he looks at me and goes, "Oh, she was horrible, disgusting woman." I was like, "Nice, thank you."
Seriously, there's so much worse things going on in the world. Don't have your day ruined because you can't get a coupon. You can't get a return. See, you return this 7 months later. Sorry. Or that you can't get your way. And oh man, the things I would want to say right now, but I have to hold off. But It's crazy how
Someday.
these customers, how they would really rather you have your health be in jeopardy so they could get ahead and get their discount.
Were you there when I was gonna fight a Ken in the parking lot because I didn't accept it because it was at 10. It was like our store closed at 10 o'clock. When it's 10 o'clock, Matt knows I shut all the registers. I was the supervisor in the front. I shut them bad boys done. This old man tried to come in and try to buy some Fruit of Balloon underwears at 10:05, and I'm like, it's too late. Gotta come in the morning. So he started cussing me out, telling me it's some Nazi stuff. And I was like, well, you want to take it outside of the parking lot? We can go do that.
Can you just imagine, man, I got punched in the face because I couldn't make this work at Kohl's.
Yeah,
I
'cause
now have a
had to-
bruise.
Yeah, I couldn't buy underwear tonight. I had to buy it tomorrow, and so now I've been in a fight.
Man, this stuff, it's a joke. It really, really is. I'll tell you a story after we're recording. That's the only time I'll ever say that because that's the worst on a pod. But I just have to share this one story a little later, though. Okay. Now let's talk about the other football story, which is more kind of funny. And Ryan, you're gonna actually like this. So we are amongst the NFL playoffs. We're at towards the very end of the season. This Sunday's conference championship weekend. So you have the two best teams in the AFC going at each other, the two best team in the NFC. And the winner of those are going to meet in the Super Bowl on February 11th, right?
Yep.
So ever since in the last couple of years, the NFL has released the Super Bowl logo, right? It usually represents the city they're in. And there's been some hilarious coincidences. They've only done this 3 times now, right? So let me try to get this. I don't spoil it right now, right? So as you see last year, right? You guys can see in Los Angeles, they just so happened a year ago, they released colors to the logo. That's the thing. They used to not do colors. So
white,
the year prior, they released in 2021 orange and white and blue, which both happen to be the Bengals and the Rams, Cincinnati Bengals, Los Angeles Rams, and they just so happened to play in the playoffs. The next year, they did green and red for the Super Bowl in Arizona, and it wound up being the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, reckon I can see how it's not completely green, but it's green enough, apparently. And now, it just so happens here, and let me show you now, right?
It's blue and red. I'm guessing. I don't know.
No, it's purple and red.
Purple and red. And what's happening? There are 2 teams that are left that have purple and red colors. You have purple, the Baltimore Ravens, who are a favorite in their game, and then the San Francisco 49ers, who are a favorite in the other game. This logo was released a year ago. Again, the NFL is its own worst enemy when they want to say there's no script. And I don't think there's a script. I really don't. I cover the NFL week after week after week. I watch all the games. But this is the one time, like, okay, this is weird. You just so happen to have these 2 teams left. And, like, what are we doing here? This is strange. Somebody has to point out that something's up.
I feel like it's got to be a coincidence because if they're if it's scripted and they're being legit, then I feel like that's way too
obvious.
upfront.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's so obvious that there's no way. It's got to just be like a really funny coincidence.
There are people who disagree. I do think it's a coincidence too, but it's insane.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't actually think it's a coincidence.
Oh, really? For the first, we have Riot Conspiracy Riot?
No. As much as I would love the script to be real, I prefer if the script is real. But I don't think the script is real. What I do think is they probably sat down a year ago and said, all right, who are the 2 best teams in our, if we had to guess, who are going to, what are the 2 best teams going to look like? Or just spitballs, top 5 teams in the NFL this year. Just kind of come up with who those might be. Then you look at those teams and say, all right, here's the color scheme we could do that'll kind of fit with who we think is going to be there. I think they are intentionally trying
to
get the logo to match the teams. I don't think that's a coincidence. And the reason why I say that is look at logo number 2, the Eagles. That is not a solidly green color. It's
Like
a
I said,
pretty
just green
light
enough.
green.
It's just part of the green, so it counts.
We might honestly say it's dolphin green, if you want my honest opinion. And I know the Dolphins were like the what's that called? Like the Eagles, the Dolphins were considered one of the better teams last year. To me, like I don't know, like again at the beginning of the season, I think they probably sit down and say who are like the 5 teams we think we're gonna have to like cover extensively this year, and they look at it and say, all right, cool. These are the colors that kind of fit with those teams, and they come up with a logo from there. I mean, when you look at it, like the teams that have been doing well this year, red goes with the Bucks who are in the playoffs. It goes with the Chiefs who are still technically in the playoffs. Purple's very specific, but I think everyone's known for quite some time that the Baltimore Ravens are going to be a force in the league. So, you know what I mean? I think it's more or less they just have a really good the marketing team has a really good knowledge of their product, and they're trying to come up with logos that are going to kind of fit with who's going to be in the game, and they've just done a good job so far.
Jose,
I want it to be scripted, Matt. I prefer it to be scripted.
I'm going for the underdogs for both games. So,
but what about the theory though?
Well, in fairness, that would make it wrong.
And yeah.
Okay,
and
so you want
I want Eminem versus Taylor Swift. That's what I want.
Which I will say would be hilarious, but I don't want that. I want Eminem versus Stavros. Stavros, what's his name? You know the comedian?
I think I know who you're talking about, but no, not really.
That's who you picked out of Baltimore, though?
Who's famous for Baltimore?
I don't know. A bunch of people, right?
Ray Lewis.
Well, you tell me. That's a little different. He might have killed someone. So this guy.
Oh, get the hell out of here!
He's from Baltimore. He's from Baltimore.
He looks like he's from Baltimore.
All right.
Stringer
Bell.
But that's literally a fake person. Famous people from Baltimore. Adam Singer. Who the hell is that? Famous people from Baltimore. Anna Faris.
Oh, there we go. Anna Faris.
She's not that famous. She's not that famous. Let's be real. Anymore.
Neither is Stavros.
Julie Bowen. Okay, Stavros is one of the biggest comedians right now.
What?
Yes, he is. So just because you ever heard from him, everyone else has. We have Julie Bowen, David Hasselhoff.
Ah, he's famous.
Again, past his prime.
Yeah, like legendary famous, but famous.
Yeah.
Babe Ruth. Penn Bagley.
Hold on. Pause a second. You say David Hasselhoff's not a legendary actor?
No.
No, he's more camp. He's not legendary.
Legendary.
All right.
Legendary joke.
He's just legendary in general.
Yeah, legendary,
an iconic figure. Yeah.
If I go to If I go to
not
Jersey
infamous,
Shore,
he didn't rob a bank.
Thurgood Marshall.
There we go.
But he dead, so he can't.
Jada
Pinkett Smith.
That's right. He can't be there.
Jada
and Will versus Taylor.
No, we got enough of that. John Waters. Waters. Do you know John Waters?
I know John Waters.
Okay, this would be funny because he's just hilarious. Lewis Black.
Is he alive?
Yes, he's alive. Michael Phelps. But I don't see these people. I don't see these people actually at the games. Stavros actually goes to the games.
Okay. So he will be there. You're saying?
Likely. So.
Gotcha. Okay, I didn't. Well, that makes more sense then. He's a fan that goes to all the games.
But Ryan, listen. Let me tell you something. But yes, like Spike Lee, next team. Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
They actually released next year's Super Bowl logo in New Orleans, and let me tell you something. If these two teams should not be in the Super Bowl next year. They have low expectations. At least one of them. Maybe one you might make a case, but everything has to go right. And then the other one, I'd be very shocked if they even make the playoffs because they're probably getting a brand new quarterback and have a lot of rebuilding to do. The Jets and the Vikings. Is this your Super Bowl pick next year?
Oh, heck yeah. Let's go.
New York Jets and the Minnesota Vikings.
Let's get that script turning. Let's get that script
you're saying
turning.
Aaron Rodgers, nothing will go wrong.
Nothing will go wrong.
And it's going to finally work out with that horrible coach and Rodgers.
Who's the horrible coach? You mean
Robert Saleh.
Super Bowl champion? He's gonna win in New Orleans.
Oh, now I love Aaron Rodgers because he could make this Super Bowl.
I have said from the beginning,
2 weeks ago.
As long as Aaron Rodgers doesn't ever talk, I am super happy that he's our quarterback.
Well, allegedly, the NFL is making it possible. If somehow the Minnesota Vikings and the Jets, 2 teams that have never won the Super Bowl, 2 teams that haven't been in the Super Bowl in a very long time. No, they have. Sorry, you're right.
Yeah.
What? But they're so bad. It's like they did.
It's been a long time. Yeah.
But Vikings haven't been there since Super Bowl 6, and the Jets haven't been there since Super Bowl 3. So 2 hungry cities. If they somehow make this work, it'd be something else.
What do you mean?
Well,
Jets,
could you imagine?
Wait,
I'll be honest with you,
Jets
Matt.
Is not a hungry city.
That's so scripted too. They're both coming off the same injury. Kirk Cousins and Aaron Rodgers
exactly. They're
from
exactly
the same injury to play each other in the Super Bowl the next year. Tell you what, Matt, if that happens, 100%, it's all scripted. Yeah, 100%. I won't even lie, 100%.
You know, I will say the one thing about the scripted that you can make a case it isn't, and there's no such thing as sports gods, is in that fake punt that failed. They had Damar Hamlin, who almost died. If he was the one to convert that fake punt and they somehow have Buffalo win, then that is some scripted stuff right there. Anyways, funny stuff, right? Funny stuff. Let me go with quickly. Stephen A. Smith is back, somehow making headlines. He was on Howard Stern saying he would like to debate Donald Trump. How much would we like this? Stephen A. versus Donald Trump in a presidential debate.
Well, it wouldn't be presidential because Stephen A. is not running for president.
Well, he said presidential debate on the show.
Well, yeah, I'm sure he did.
Can somebody debate?
It didn't sound. Yeah, it didn't sound presidential. I think he just said that he wanted to have a shot at debating him. Yeah. I don't know who. I don't really know anything about him because I'm not super deep into sports. But
I mean, he's a very charismatic guy. It would be an interesting television thing to watch. I don't know that anyone would be better off for having heard it.
I think any Trump debate is a funny, entertaining television watch.
Well, and Stephen A. I like better than Donald Trump, if spoiler. He like Trump is kind of brash. He's definitely got a personality on stage and when he talks. So yeah, it would be an interesting thing to watch. But in terms of people learning anything tangible about any of the people involved, or God forbid we do a debate about something important once in a while, that won't happen with the Stephen
have to be turn brain off, get drunk, have fun kind of thing.
Sure. I mean, it'd be fun to watch someone make fun of Donald Trump for 2 hours. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I don't mean the way we do it now on the news. I mean the way Stephen A. will do. I mean, what did Stephen A. all the things Stephen A. called Jason Whitlock absolutely apply to Donald Trump. So
he did the same thing.
This stupid fat moron. You know what I mean? So that would be fun, but I don't need it to happen. I definitely am not. I'm lower on it than a lot of people online seem to be.
Okay, I hear that.
I think maybe just because they haven't Trump hasn't had a debate in quite a while, right?
Yeah, you keep skipping them.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people are also just I just want to see it. It's been a while.
I don't know why we want to do that to ourselves. The last one was horrible.
So why don't we now just do the last story and then we'll do some questions.
Perfect.
And Sports Illustrated, a genuine magnet, at one point was the biggest publication in American sports. It was announced last week that the Arena Group, the conglomerate that owns Sports Illustrated, was laying off their entire staff completely. The entire publication's editorial staff is gone. The only people who are left are a few online writers and bloggers, but it seems like the smoke is in the air that Sports Illustrated is about to cease operations. Sports Illustrated is going to be no more, whether in the next year, maybe a couple years, it's gone. And, a lot of people, that magazine meant a lot to a lot of people. I certainly loved it. I grew up with it. I got Sports Illustrated Kids, taking out the posters that the was in the magazines to put on my wall and stuff. I loved it. But the big thing here is, and reckon I guess people have noticed for the last decade, that magazines are pretty much going to be a thing of the past, if not already. There's no more Lifetime magazine. Playboy doesn't publish anymore. ESPN magazine is completely gone. There's only Time magazine left and Newsweek, but again, mostly online. Like magazines and newspapers, see ya. All online. And yeah, isn't that something, guys?
I mean, when I worked at the grocery store, we had like the whole stand of magazines in front of every single till, and every single one was caked in dust and had been there for. We never sold magazines.
Yeah.
Just the occasional newspaper, but
I used to love
yeah.
reading magazines. Reckon
Yeah.
I'm part of the problem because I would get them on my iPad, but
When I went to my mom's work, she used to work at a car detailing like decal shop. She used to bring me there sometimes. They always had
Mhm.
Sports Illustrated, and I used to steal the pictures of the pretty chicks magazines.
no,
I'd
no
take them
more,
home with me.
no more Sports Illustrated swimsuit
Yeah.
model.
Yeah, I was
No
gonna ask
more.
Jose about that. We're just gonna dive into it. Jose, how are you feeling?
Well, I was gonna say I was just like Matt, but it said Sports Illustrated Kids. I'll take the Sports Illustrated swimsuit and put it all over my wall. I
Unbelievable.
mean, I got like you got like porn sites now. I ain't gonna really worry about
Yeah.
Sports Illustrated. Like, it's
I
there
mean,
and
yeah, I do feel bad for Sports Illustrated that so many of its readership was using it for that reason.
Don't
But
you want to learn the profile of the model and how they were able to become a big success in their career?
no, I want to learn their different positions that they show off. That's what I want to learn.
I'll be honest with you, Matt. I've bought exactly 2 Sports Illustrated in my life. They were both swimsuit editions. They were both when I
There
was a
we
teenager,
go.
and I did not read the profile on the cover model of either of those 2 issues. So
You didn't
I'm
read
actually
you
with
didn't read
Jose.
Peter King's op-ed, Monday Morning Quarterback?
Oh, I did read Sports Illustrated articles, but I did so online, which is again why the magazine is going away. I do hope. I hope that it disappearing doesn't mean the whole thing goes away. I hope they figure out a way to keep the smart, like
But
writing and like the feature length, dives into athletes and their careers and all that in like a blog format or an online format. But it's not going to be worth nearly as much as it used to be. And I think that's probably going to spell the end of Sports Illustrated until somebody someday with a lot of money decides to buy the IP and reframe it at a loss.
isn't that the reason why they going out of business because they don't own the IP anymore?
Yeah, it also says here they missed their quarterly licensing payment. That was one of the
That's
reasons
what I'm
why
saying. That's the
Yeah.
real reason why they're going out is
Yeah,
because
that's
they
what I'm
couldn't even pay for. Man, you know what, Matt? You should save up a couple of dollars, bring that back for us.
There we go.
Who's gonna read it?
The productive nation. We're gonna crowdfund.
There you go.
Do a GoFundMe so Matt can be the new editor in chief. Sports Illustrated. Hey, Matt, I'm a writer. I will absolutely jump in that project. If we get it crowdfunded, GoFundMe for Sports Illustrated, I will 100% be your lead writer, and we'll build it from there.
It is something to think about in the future. All right, so let us now continue to our questions, and let me ask some of the deep questions of our life. So, one question I have: can girls and guys who are single and start out platonic be truly best friends? It seems either A, they do wind up together, fall in love, and be happily ever after. Helps the ideology. I married my best friend, or one person has feeling, or one person has feelings and the other doesn't. Then they break their friendship because one can't, do that, or one might see their other friend get married and they say they're happy, but deep down, they say F this. So here's the question, guys and girls. Can guys and girls be best friends? Like truly, 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 truly be best friends? I do think the answer is yes, as long as there is no attraction whatsoever.
I think like you can find your friend attractive, but at the same time, I would say yes, but it's definitely the minority. I think in most cases, like if you're best friends and you're single, you're probably going to get together.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of times too, this I don't know if this sounds kind of shallow or something, which is like I feel like what you witness. People of similar attractiveness kind of tend to hang together even as friends or partners. Like I don't
I don't
tend to
think that's
see
shallow.
like
That's true.
a lot of like really hot girls friends with ugly guys, or a lot of really hot guys friends
Right.
with ugly girls. But like I have guy friends that I've been friends with since high school, and we've never had feelings for each other.
Mhm.
But like, I mean, I can recognize that they're a good looking guy, but I would never,
Yeah.
you know, I've been single and I never hit them up when they were single for that reason. But I definitely think it's a minority. I think in most cases, you'll end up getting together.
I think so too. And you know, they're one of my favorite lyrics from a Beatles song, "Baby You're a Rich Man." The song opens with this: "How does it feel to be one of the beautiful people? Now you know who you are, what you want to be, and have you traveled very far, far as the eye can see?" It's kind of like that. You're right. Usually, people who are attractive genuinely hang out with each other. People who aren't hang out with each other, or it's mixed.
Yeah.
But
It's just I'm just going off of like averages of what I've
exactly.
witnessed.
But most of the time, you're right. I do think that that's pretty accurate. I mean, you and Ryan, Jose, you agree?
I think it's possible. I
Yeah.
understand that I didn't, but I do think it's possible for
Well,
other
you were best
people.
friends with your wife.
Yeah. So I understand that I actually am evidence against what I just said.
Yeah.
Me and my wife were best friends, and then we ended up getting together. Then after getting together, we ended up, staying together, and now we're married.
Exactly. So thank you for proving the point.
But I do think, even though I
Again,
couldn't do it, I do think other people can do it.
I mean, every friend I've had
for
before
sure.
or every person I've dated before my current boyfriend, I was friends with them first before dating. So,
Exactly.
I do think you could be friends and just leave it as friends. I've had friends, I
mm,
still do, that are female.
yeah.
Obviously being married is part of it too. But
Yeah, like
even
my
before
boyfriend's
then,
got female friends as well, and I'm not uncomfortable in the slightest with any of them because, you know,
so I think it's possible.
trust.
But it does happen. It does. You're right. It does happen a lot that friends end up dating.
Yeah, which
So,
I also think is normal, and it's okay to
Exactly.
expect that in a way.
What do you have to say, Jose?
Well,
oh.
one of my best friends, we still smash like every blue moon, and she's happily married.
Oh.
So,
Did you just say that?
I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna put her name. I'm gonna put her on blast, but
you heard that
she's
too,
happy.
Ryan and
I hear it. I've said nothing. I'm listening
So,
and just soaking it
so
in.
we're best friends. We just smash from time to time. Call it a day. Hit every blue moon. She's in Connecticut. All right, what up?
What are you practicing sex or something?
I mean, she probably has a boring sex life, but she's happily married. So I mean, I guess.
But if she was to leave her husband and say that she had feelings for you, would that change anything?
No.
Mm.
Hell no, she a cheater. Yeah, what that
Oh goodness. I
Me
do
and my
think
friend
I will say this.
casually smash.
I'm gonna up Matt's question slightly, and I don't want to say agree with Jose. I really don't, but I don't necessarily know that two friends, like if you're a friend, if a guy and a girl are friends and they do sleep with each other every once in a while or whatever, or even just once, like I don't necessarily think that has to end a friendship. I will agree with that. Like, I mean, I don't think that, oh, we've done this thing now, we have to figure out what we are. I don't know that needs to be true.
Yeah, I think it's just how sentimental you are about sex in
Right.
general.
Yeah.
I
Friends with
think
benefits.
Yeah.
But you know what also is from my relationship with her, I wouldn't even call it a relationship, friendship with her, is
Situationship.
we dated a couple of times and we both knew it wasn't gonna work. So we're not the type to be like, all right, we're both the same people for the last 15 years of our life. And
Right.
yet
Yeah.
it looked like even if you some reason had a divorce, it ain't like we're gonna work a third time. and we're kind of
Yeah, fair enough.
we're at the point where it's like we're in her she's in her mid-30s and I'm about to be 40. I was like, we're just having fun with it. So, I mean, the only thing that would probably change if she got divorced is I'll probably smash this at once every 2 months, and maybe it's gonna be once every 2 weeks
more
now.
frequent. No.
Yes, that's pretty much it.
But yeah,
But
I do think to your point, Jose, like I don't think that being friends excludes that activity from happening.
Yeah,
Right.
So you really
it's just how
encourage.
sentimental you are with sex.
Absolutely.
Like I have never had sex with a friend because I can't do that.
Yeah.
But like I have friends who have friends that they fuck all the time, so
Right. It's a personal thing, and I think it's totally
friends
possible.
with benefits.
yeah.
Right.
So I say practicing sex at that point.
I mean, it's nice to give your hand a day off. You know what I mean?
Jeez.
I have another question. When somebody who doesn't answer you for a long time and then they respond with, "Sorry, I was sleeping," is that the biggest lie ever?
Usually,
How
yeah.
long? How long?
Yeah, how
But post
and it also depends on the time of day.
Yeah, time of the day, yeah.
They hit you up at like 5 p.m. when you message them at 8 a.m. and they're like, my bad, I was asleep.
Yeah, I was sleeping.
They weren't asleep.
That reminds me. I remember an old friend showed me. Somebody texted him, "Happy New Year," right? January 1st, right? And we're at a New Year's party throughout the year, and he responds back, "Sorry, I was sleeping."
Yeah.
A year? He missed the whole year.
He was sleeping for a year.
I feel like if you like, I don't think anyone should be expected to respond right away. Like, I don't like responding back and forth with people immediately, but all my friends know that. So if I message them 5-6 hours later, I don't say sorry, I was sleeping. I just respond.
Well, I think that's like actually the key. I mean, it definitely doesn't work with everybody. Like, I know personally, I know people who I can text slower and people that I text faster. But don't even come up with an excuse. Honestly, my head, text. Like if you have a text, like I mean, I'll just say for Matt, especially when we're like on show days, if we're talking about topics or whatever, and I'll get like 3 like lengthy things about what we're supposed to talk about, and I haven't seen them in like 3 hours. Instead of being like, sorry, I didn't see it, I'll just read it and then just respond. And so it'll be 3 hours, but like I was like, whatever, like he wanted a response on this, so I'm going to send a response on this. So I think that like you just don't lie, certainly don't lie, and also you don't even need to be like, oh, I was busy. Just be like, just give the person what you want.
And if they have an issue with like the amount of time it takes you to respond, you should be good enough at communicating to say, hey.
Yeah, they'll tell you. And then
they'll
you do what you gotta do.
I think maybe it's a little bit different if you have upcoming plans with someone or if you're dating, getting to know each other kind of deal. But other than that, like if it's friends, if it's family,
Don't stand someone up for 3 hours and then just be like, here.
Yeah, I was sleeping. My bad.
Yeah.
Exactly. Just 2 quick questions that we'll wrap it up. One, I heard this today and I found it hilarious from a radio host, right? When you're a kid and you see like these, people in costumes and stuff like Mickey Mouse or whatever.
In like New York?
No. That's like the actual people. Like like you're at Disney World or if you're at a sporting game, if you're at a Met game, you see like Mr. Met. Yeah, if you see a mascot. Doesn't it suck the day when you're a kid when you find out that's just a person in a suit? I thought for a time they were robots. But I thought they were like that, like very smart robots. I used to genuinely think that. I knew like obviously that's not Mickey Mouse just jumping out of the TV screen. But yeah, no, I thought they were robots. You actually thought they were,
I was there 2 weeks ago. I was there 2 months ago with Mickey Mouse. I thought it was the real guy.
Well, Jose, that's the problem then, because you just admitted your age earlier. You're gonna have to check that.
Either I didn't have the memories of that time, or I don't know. I feel like I was just new. Then again, like I was in an area I've never seen anyone in a costume ever. I never went to Disneyland or saw anything like that. But like Santa, stuff like that, I never. Like I went along with it because I just it's the holidays. It's a holiday thing, Santa Claus. But I never believed in Santa Claus. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I started getting pissed off in 5th grade that my mom kept pretending that I thought Santa was real. So I like snooped for my presents to prove to her that I knew
that it was not real.
I remember when I found out Santa wasn't real, just the door was open to see my parents casually putting the presents on the tree. That sucked. I was in like the 3rd grade. I remember though, Ryan, there is a kid named Henry who is in their elementary school.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, obviously not. But there's a kid, Henry. Remember, he was like, "Santa's not real" in the 1st grade. I was like, "No, stupid."
So you want to hear something about that? It wasn't that kid. It was another kid like that. Matt and me went to the same elementary school. The reason I found out Santa was not real, which was 4th grade, was because I was like getting into a fight with this kid about it. And so, but I kept my head. I wasn't going to hit him first, but I was going to hit him. And so I went home to my parents, to my mom and my dad, explained what happened, like the argument that I had. And I said, so tomorrow I'm going in there and I'm going to defend Santa Claus. So you need to tell me right now if it's real or not.
I'm going to
because
defend Santa.
if I'm going to go out down swinging, it needs to be for the truth. I wasn't willing to fight for a lie. And so when my parents realized that like
you were going to beat ass in his name.
I'm not an aggressive person either, like that sort of way. You know what I mean? It's like when I said that, they realized like he's so totally serious that he's willing to throw hands for Santa. So we have to explain like the truth. Like we cannot let him go to school tomorrow believing in Santa Claus, because it will end badly for either him or the other student. They didn't even know who the other student was. So like the student could have been like tall and bigger than me. Like they had no way of knowing how this would end. So they did tell me the truth. So I didn't go to school and defend Santa like I planned to.
That's definitely a clip. That's amazing.
I will say that for the mascot thing specifically, what was it? I honestly never thought about what was happening with the mascot. Like
you just he was there.
Just cool.
So I have a story about a line in that, and I promise you, it's gonna start pretty dark, but I promise you, there's something good with this. So, So my dad's a 9/11 survivor. He was there. He was right there. He came home with the ashes, right? So this happens when I'm 6, 7, not really aware what's going on, right? So this is September 01, obviously. Go to a Bluefish game. Bridgeport Bluefish don't exist anymore. So I see these things as robots, and I honestly was scared of them, right? I was scared, right? But then when I went to see the Bluey, who was awesome. I wonder where those costumes are. I was like, man, these guys are cool. You know what? I'm ready to go to Disney World now. That's what I honestly thought. So I said to my parents, hey, I won't go to Disney World because I saw Bluefish and it's time to see Mickey, right? So here's the context of this. So obviously, Dad goes through that traumatic experience, right? So the way they thought to help, ease and go back to normal, the first family Disney World trip, I've been there 3 times. So it's kind of ironic 9/11 didn't happen. I might not have gone to Disney World, but that's just how my story went. And obviously I thought me deciding, since Bluey's cool, you must be cool with Mickey, so y'all must hang out the mascots. I go to Disney World now. But obviously different circumstances. It's still funny and still Disney was great. And I went again in like 4th grade, then high school, and haven't been back since. But it's crazy how these things are on now.
That you thought that you planned your family's Disney trip,
essentially,
and it was actually not you.
Exactly. Exactly. So it's pretty funny how that all worked out. And the funny thing, the story got this right. So the radio host said, sometimes you have to lie and it's okay. They said in a lie spot. The story was, so he has this quarterback, Boomer Esiason, and this guy called and say, hey, do you remember my dad? He straight up said no. He's like, but in life, you gotta, when you're younger, it's okay to say small little lies that won't hurt him. And he's used the example, my daughter is gonna have Elsa come to her birthday party, right? It's like elementary school. And the daughter asked him, hey, is Elsa real? And then he's like, no, she's not real. But she's coming to my birthday. What? Oh, I was just, you see, she's a cartoon and she comes out to life to help. And hence why you have the Elsa costume. See?
That feels like a harder thing to sell than just Elsa's real.
Yeah.
I would just say, if you're going to lie, be like, yeah, Elsa's real.
But
not, she's a cartoon that becomes sentient to come to birthday parties. Yeah.
So these mascots, they have more of an impact than people think. And well, Jose, you just enjoyed your last impact with Mickey and Minnie, as you said.
It was amazing. Almost at 40, still had fun.
That's all that matters, right? I heard that if you go to Disney in the Toy Story land, that if you yell Andy's coming, they're supposed to fall down.
Yeah, I heard that too.
Yeah.
I didn't go to when I went to Hollywood, I chose where Star Wars was at. And you mess with Kylo Ren, he'll mess with you back. Like all the Star Wars character. Mickey Mouse, Goofy was just a dick to me. No, he was a dick.
Isn't it funny to see like the human person like having a bad day? They're just standing like this in their Goofy costume.
Yeah, he just
Put
looked
some
at
effort,
me.
Man.
I walked up to him super smiley, like 40-year-old guy coming up to Mickey, I'm Goofy, like we're about to take a picture. I'm about to go and say what up to him and crap. And he just freaking stared me down, like his head going up and down. And I'm like, oh, this guy's about to snuff me, or we're about to take a picture. One of these things is happening.
Take that damn picture, Goofy. Oh man, if I would Sorry, Jose, you're saying?
Oh, one day I have it on video. He looked like it looked like we were about to go throw hands.
If I was one of those characters, I would have so much fun with it. I would do these crazy dances, and maybe I'm saying that now naive, but I don't care.
They work long hours. It's a tough gig.
Did you, especially the characters who aren't a costume, you have to just wear the makeup? Like there's this guy going viral now who looks like Chris Pratt, like his doppelganger.
Oh, yeah. I've seen that.
They said this Disney casting is brilliant.
Oh yeah, he's really good. Yeah,
they won't hire you if you don't look the right way.
It's basically like a movie casting.
Yeah,
exactly. I remember I met this guy. I don't remember. Did I meet him? Maybe met him at a party or something. That he was Spider-Man at the Universal World. He shows me pictures of him in the locker room with the stuff on and stuff. Like it's hilarious. You know, that's one person we got to find. We got to find somebody to interview them who is one of those mascots and what that's like.
A Disney mascot. You could probably literally post on Reddit saying you want to interview post in like a Disney workers subreddit and say you want to interview a worker for a podcast.
I remember I found this. There was this girl who did a Reddit AMA who was the Disney princess, and boy, you have your childhood ruined if you want to read that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They have it's a tough gig that they've got.
But those people party, man. You have Cinderella and the little Prince Charming hanging out after, or Mickey and Elsa,
or Mickey and Prince Charming.
Yeah, or Mickey and Prince Charming, or Spider-Man and Batman, or all those people hanging out. That'd be some world out there. But that wraps it up for today. Incredible stuff. Awesome job today, Kara. Kara, for your first time here on the Tweet Cap. Brian, Jose, great job as always.
Thank you.
See you next week, and we'll see what happens with this crazy world.
See you, Matt.
See ya.
See ya.